Have you ever been sitting in your bed late at night after a long day and suddenly you get this gust, this massive drive of motivation to take care of your fitness? Tomorrow I'm going to start running, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to eat these healthy foods, and then the next day comes around and you do none of them. It seems like the motivation dwindles as you sleep, or it disappears, just like the memory of what you dreamt, right? Well, you're not alone. A lot of people struggle with this concept, and it has to do with a lot of emotional components and a lot of brain. It's all up there in the brain. It's not your fault, but it is just the way that your brain thinks. And so reframing the way that you think when it comes to having this night motivation and then changing some habits so that way you can propel yourself and launch yourself into a better morning routine is going to be the best way to combat this. And now I have 4 topics today that I really want to discuss about this motivation at night. Number 1, I want to explain to you, why do you have it? Why do I feel all of this motivation and this desire to change myself late at night and not the following day? 2, I want to talk about something that I call the Superman problem. And this has to relate to how you are feeling when this motivation comes to you. Low resistance morning routine. We're going to talk about how making your morning routine the following day can set you up for success. And finally, we're going to talk about how to build all of the things above and stack confidence for yourself, so that way, when you feel these feelings of motivation at night again, we can make sure that we follow through the following morning. Okay, number 1, nighttime motivation is emotional. At the end of a long day, you finally get to wind down. You don't have a lot of the stressors or the things that you need to get accomplished during the day, right? Wake up, drop the kids off at school. I need to go to work. I need to go grocery shopping. I need to cook dinner. When you finally relax and wind down for the end of the day, it's almost like you're calming your mind. You're getting ready for bed. And what happens is now your brain starts to wander, and it doesn't have to worry about all of the things that you had to accomplish of this day. So it's emotional driven, and this can either come from inspiration or guilt, depending on what you're feeling. So at the end of the day, you either feel inspired to make a change, you feel like you can tackle on the day, everything's happy, everything's good, you're very excited for the following day. You're looking forward to going to the gym tomorrow morning. You're looking forward to taking some steps and going out for a walk. Or it can come from being guilt-driven. And guilt is something that many people don't want to experience, but it is something that comes to many. You know, you'll be sitting there at the end of the day and you are guilty. You feel guilty about all the choices that you didn't make that day. And so now you have a guilty motivation for the following day to, okay, the next morning I'm going to start walking. I'm going to start tracking my food. I'm going to start being better, right? And that's okay. But you have to realize that your nighttime motivation is coming from these emotional components. And when it comes to emotion, it can be helpful to get started. Emotion can be helpful to reason with or to reinforce your why. But it's not going to help you when it comes down to a system. When it comes down to the morning, when you really don't feel like you have the time, when you really feel like you don't have the energy, you really don't feel like you have the motivation, it comes down to discipline. Systems and discipline. It comes down to you setting up your success the following morning. You cannot be motivated to go to the gym. You could be not motivated to start walking or tracking your food. But if you have systems in place to make it as easy as possible for you to do those things, then the chances of you doing them are a lot likelier or a lot higher. I don't even think likely is a word. And we'll talk about that more in the low resistance morning routine when we talk about some quick tips that I personally do to make sure that my mornings go smooth. It allows me to get my workout in the morning since that's the best time to do it. But the next subject that I want to talk about is the Superman problem. Your bias. You are compensating for your current self, right? You are compensating for your current self, because your future self, when it comes to the time to actually do these great ideas, these great thoughts that you're having the night before, you're not going to want to do them, right? It's hard, right? Actually doing the thing. It's a lot easier to get the dopamine hit, the release in your brain, the feel-good chemical release of thinking of all these incredible things that you're going to do, right? It's so much easier to say like, oh yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm definitely going to start losing weight. a six-pack would be fantastic. Yeah, that's going to make you feel good, but that's you feeding into your current self, how you're feeling currently, and not thinking about your future self, where you can feel this all the time. And so the Superman problem is when you get ready to go to bed, or when you get winding down at the end of the day, you have motivation towards the end of the day. There's not much left you can do that day, so tomorrow is when you're going to do all the things. You feel like Superman. You start listing off all the things that you can do, right? Not taking into account the harsh realities of the difficulties that it's going to be the next morning. And so the Superman problem is you are overpromising yourself on borrowed energy. You're borrowing energy from the next morning, telling yourself of all these things you're going to do. And that's not a smart way to go about things. It's a good way to think about the things that you need to do tomorrow. But if you are hyping up all of these expectations, or if you're hyping up all of these incredible feats that you want to achieve the following day, chances are you're going to let yourself down. Because unfortunately, as much as I would like to say, Superman isn't real. And he's not coming to save us. You can come to save us, though. And if you plan things accordingly, you can be Superman. Okay? All right. Now, this is where I think the most value is going to come to a lot of people. This is talking about your low resistance morning routine, right? You have the motivation at night, and now you don't have it the next morning. It's likely because you're busy as shit. And it's hard, and you have no idea how you're going to fit it in. You're tired. Maybe your sleep schedule is not great. But the motivation that you had the night before is no longer with you in the morning. Where is it, right? It's gone. So this is when it comes into making sure that you have the least amount of resistance possible. So that way when you go to do the things that you said you're going to do, there's less barriers, right? If you were to set up a race, right? A hurdle race, you've seen them before, those giant hurdles around the track, and then you have to jump over all the hurdles, right? If you and I were racing, okay? And both of us have never had any experience jumping hurdles, right? They're tall enough that we can jump over them for the sake of this example. But I have 2 hurdles, and you have 35. Who do you think is going to finish that race faster? I am. I only have 2 hurdles, and you have 35. But if I was allowed to come to the racetrack earlier and remove a whole bunch of hurdles, is that unfair? No. I was allowed to remove those hurdles from my race. You chose not to remove the hurdles. I chose to remove the hurdles. And now I gain the benefit of not having to have that many hurdles in this race. It's an example. You get what I'm saying? If you can remove the barriers of your morning routine, if you can remove the barriers of the processes that you want to achieve, that's going to be how you can set yourself up for success. Right? It's the same thing if you go to the gym. If your objective is to do XYZ at the gym, and you get to the gym, and then you don't want to work out, what are you going to do? Go home? No. The chances, almost dropped my pen there. The chances of you going to the gym, saying that you're going to go to work out, and then getting to the gym and not doing the workout are so unlikely. You're already there. It doesn't make any sense to drive all the way and drive back. You did the hard part already. You got through the hurdles. Remove the hurdles. This could look like a couple of things, right? It could look like putting your clothes out the night before. It could look like prepping your breakfast. It could look like prepping your lunch. It could look like having the dog food pre-portioned. It could look like, oh, well, I usually load and wash the dishwasher in the morning instead of at night, instead doing that at night. It could be talking with your partner about the different things that you can take off of each other's plates so that way you can achieve these goals. I know it's a little bit outside of the things that we're talking about today, but you need to understand if you do have somebody in your life, if you have kids, and these goals are important to you, taking care of yourself for the sake of your family or for the sake of your partner or for the sake of anyone really, you are allowed to ask your partner to an extent to help you meet those goals. I know at least for me, if my girlfriend really wants to hit a morning workout, or if she's struggling to find the time to make a proper meal, I will 100% pick up the slack to help her with those things that those shortcomings that she might just not have the time to do, because it is concurrent with the goals that she wants to achieve, and I'm there to help support that. So that's just something to think about. Okay, last but not least, build trust, build discipline, build a track record. The more you do this, the more confidence you gain. I've talked about it before. You need to stack proof that you can do this. If you have a book of sources saying that you can do this for sure, you are capable of doing this. There are 150 line items of you doing. You're killing it. You're working out, you're getting your workouts in, you're eating food. Chances are you're going to have a lot more momentum. And where many people struggle with this is they don't have the proof. They don't know where to look for the proof. Proof is in the pudding. No, I'm just kidding. It's not in the pudding. Don't look in the pudding. But track, write, ask. Here's the thing. Track what you're doing at the gym. Have a little bit of an accountability board on your fridge or in your home office and mark an X on each day of the week that you decide that you meet your goals and that you meet your objectives. And so that way, when you look at this calendar, now you can see, man, I did 15 days in a row. I did 20 days in a row. Holy crap, I'm killing this. I can do this. Look at that, I just did 20 days in a row. Write it down. Write down your goals, write down your why, write down the reasons why you're putting in all this effort, and write down the things that you're doing. Writing down proof is just a reinforcement that you are capable, 100%. And it's gonna make a lasting impact. And the final one here, ask someone to keep you accountable. Asking someone to keep you accountable is one of the main reasons people even hire personal trainers, right? Look, I'm not gonna lie to you. You can get a fantastic workout program online from either AI or another coach, but the accountability aspect, the super fine-tuning, the specific uniqueness, your specific situation and how to solve those problems are some of the reasons why people hire personal trainers. But ask someone for accountability. It could be your friend, it could be your parent, it could be your partner, it could be somebody at work. Ask them, say, hey, listen, I'm really trying to get on this fitness thing. I'm really trying to become a better version of myself. I'm really trying to make my life better for my family, for me. I want to feel better. I want to get more confidence. And I'm having a really, really hard time staying consistent. That morning is just killing me. But I know it's the only time that I have to get this stuff done. Can you keep me accountable? When I come into work, can you ask me if I worked out? I want you to be a little hard on me. This is something that's important to me. And so I really, really need you to try to keep me accountable. I'd really appreciate it. If you're trying to be a better version of yourself, I bet you that person's going to do a good job. Either that or you can pick somebody else. Or you can hire a personal trainer. One of those. So these are all concepts of, and again, a lot of my videos are concepts, right? The mind, how we go about this, how we go about anything, right? And you can take all of this advice and you can translate it to this, right? A lot of my motivation for this, to make these videos for you all, I have to do the thing, right? I have to set up the camera and I actually have to shoot the video. And sometimes motivation's not there, but I put systems in place to make sure that I can try to get this content out to you all as much as possible. And the point that I'm making is these are concepts. These are ways that you think. You can use these concepts for anything. You can use these concepts if you're trying to get better at art. You can use these concepts if you're trying to spend more time with your kids. You can use these concepts if you're just trying to increase your skill level on a passion or on a hobby. That's the most important thing when it comes to anything, is how you perceive it, your concepts, and the way that you think. It's how you set yourself up for the success. The guidebook, the plan is important, absolutely. But if I've learned anything, if I've learned absolutely anything, showing up is step one. And it is the most important thing. And trying in that effort is going to make the most impact over a long period of time. And so that's the thing you need to focus on. So let's review. Nighttime motivation is emotional. It's okay to feel that way. I feel that way sometimes. Sometimes at night I get super hyped for the next day and I'm like, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. And then the reality hits and I can't get around to it. And then I feel disappointed. So understand that those feelings that you're feeling at night are normal. Many people feel them. And it's okay. Have some goals, write them down, but make a plan for the following day, right? Superman doesn't exist. Wish we did. Wish he was. Wish he did. Systems and discipline. You have to create the systems. My system looks like tracking my workouts and making sure that I hit markers. I like to run 3 times a week, and the only reason I'm running is because it's hard and it's difficult and it's challenging to me. You can walk on a treadmill, you can just walk, that's fine. And at least 3 lifts a week. And so my systems are I have to meet these systems. And I usually have specific days of the week that I try to take it off. But those are my systems, and they're so ingrained in my being. I've done them for such a long time that it's easy for me to continue and routinely do them. Okay, kind of touched on the Superman problem while I was talking. Your bias, you're compensating for your current self, not your future self. So your feelings are how you're feeling for yourself right now. Whether you're compensating for the guilt or the lack of the things that you did for yourself in that current day, you are putting all this motivation at night for your future self, right? But your future self might not feel that way. So understand those feelings. Understanding things and understanding why you're feeling a certain way are a huge part of getting to the root problem and then solving the problem. Overpromised on borrowed energy. You're borrowing energy from the following day. Low resistance morning routine. Set minimums, not maximums. I actually think I skipped over that one the first time around. Set minimums, not maximums. This is my minimum for the day. I am going to do at minimum this. I'm going to at least get a 15-minute walk. And then if I can do my little at-home circuit, that's a bonus. But I'm at minimum going to walk 15 minutes. I have to. That's my minimum. And if I can't do it in the morning, when I get home from work, I'm doing that 15-minute walk. I'll bring the kids. I'll bring the significant other. I'll walk the dog. But I'm getting that 15 minutes in. That's my minimum. If you set your minimum, you can shoot for your maximum. But now, if you shoot for the maximum every single day, which is unachievable, you're just not going to feel good when you don't meet those maximums. You're setting too high of expectations for yourself. You should want to push yourself and be better, right? But you have to have realistic expectations. Set minimums, not maximums. Okay. Build a plan. You need to build your discipline. You need to build your proof. You need to build your proof that you're doing the things that you said you're going to do. Track it on a calendar app. Write it down and ask someone to keep you accountable. Okay? Motivation at night is natural. It's something that a lot of people feel. It's the spur of the moment. Like I said, you're borrowing energy from your future self, and a lot of people struggle with it. You can either do all the things that you're feeling motivated right then and there that morning, or you can choose to make yourself systems the following day and have to follow through with it. Now, the only component of this that I can't give you is that you actually have to do it. You can only make it as easy as it can be on you. And you can try to take the barriers out of the way, but you have to choose that you want to do the things. It comes back to your why. We talk about the why all the time here, right? The why is the reason why you're doing this. It needs to be an emotional reason. If you're not confident, if you want to be more physically fit for your kids, for your children, for your parents even, if you have parents that you need to take care of. Your why is important. Fall back on that. Ask people for help. Understand that this is a long, lengthy process, and it can be hard, and that's okay. But you got to work at it. So I'll leave you with that. Remember, everybody,